So Lebs actually like chose the name Kazi Ya Sanaa. It means a work of art in Swahili.
So when you thought about the name, we weren't big on like going for an English name.
He was adamant about it being like a different language.
Everyone speaks English, so I thought, let's just try something out. But then the problem with that is South Africa has too many languages.
I feel like we have a uniqueness about ourselves, and I think the fact that we come from such humble beginnings, it makes us more unique. I'm from a small town in the Northern Cape called Kimberley.
Half the people in Gauteng don't know where that is.
I'm from this township. It's like a colored area called Ruanapan.
So I'm from Kimberley in the Northern Cape.
I'm from Zimbabwe originally, born in Zimbabwe. I moved to South Africa when I was 10.
I'm from Val, Sebokeng. People usually say small town, but I don't think so.
Kimberley is not a big city like Joburg, so you can literally go from school to your lesson to rehearsal and be home by 5.
There's this one song by, I don't know what they're called, but like I think Beyonce features on it, where Beyonce just keeps on saying running, 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 something like it. And I feel like that's been my life since I've been in high school and wanting to leave that small town because I've got a big personality.
I appreciate hearing something and knowing what it is.
You're already like working out what the time signature of the song is. Can I play along to this? So it definitely has helped, I would say. In as much as it has demystified, the music listening experience, it's also enhanced it.
Create something that I don't necessarily listen to. So I don't listen to a lot of bands that play some of the music that we play. So it kind of helps me to sort of start on a blank slate and not to try to do things that the other guy was doing. So I think that helps me.
This thing of labels is tricky.
Record labels can definitely help you, but they can also limit you creatively. They can say, let's try something else. We're not actually kind of going for that. And you kind of have to do really what I think it depends obviously on the record label, but I think most record labels want you to do what sells.
I feel like 360 deals now have changed, so it's less limiting now being signed to a label, because now you can sort of find a ground where you can become comfortable. But there are some where it's like duration, they need certain work at certain time, and sometimes the creative process takes time. Also, if the label has a direction on your creativity, then that's quite a bummer. It's quite a bummer. But I think we have like independent labels now, so we can actually craft out the contract that we want to. Yeah, I think you are at a better place with labels. Yeah.
I think being an independent like ensemble is very hard. It's very demanding. It's like it's everything comes out of your pocket. It's like a child that you have. I don't have kids, but it's literally like a kid that you have and that needs to be fed. And if you don't feed it, it can die.
So for balance contrast, I just sort of tried to go for what I'm hearing at the time, and my ears just kind of directed me. But it's also songs that we wrote over like the span of like 2-3 years from like COVID era. Basically just after we dropped the first project, I'd already started working on the new stuff. I think 340 Mo 340 mil is definitely one of the sounds. Like for me, it's one of the best albums to come out of South Africa. So number one, that's definitely that. And then number two, I would say a lot of like jazz albums that I've listened to, but also like avant-garde type of jazz, like the stuff they were playing in the 70s, and also some bossa nova inspired like some of the songs that we have on there like reference that. So I think generally that's the scope of the sound that has influenced like the project now.
I think it was very like abstract, the first album EP cover. It was quite abstract. There was a lot of elements. There was like good and bad things. I purposely put in like a drawing of a fly, you know. I put in like cherubs, and they're not actually, apparently they don't look like that in real life. But I put those in there. There was a picture of me and Libs. There was a little circle with like stars in them. And then there was Libs was holding a vase with flowers, and there was a yellow line. I remember like we had a description of like the album cover because I basically took it apart and I dedicated it to each song. You know, the stars in the circle kind of represented like mental illness, because it looks like space and it's empty and it's lonely, and that's what mental illness feels like. And I think we have that bond where whenever one of us has like a mentally like we're not okay, we're kind of there for each other because it's very lonely. And the new album cover, because I'm airing my dirty laundry in my writing, you know, and also it kind of like depicts like the hood, you know. It's me, Libs, and Karaba on the cover, and that's where we come from, and that's like our humble beginnings. But the main thing you'll see when you guys see it, there's a lot of like laundry in the background, and it looks cute.
In between then and the new project that's coming out, there's a lot that's happened. So I've grown as a person, literally I've grown. It's like 4 years later. And like we've met more people now. So the upcoming project has more like sounds on it that Prephase we couldn't do. So, and obviously we had better recording conditions. So I think that's the difference generally. So I think growth for me, just the two projects now, from where it started to where we're doing now, it's just about growth. Yeah.
The hardest song I had to write and record was for Jason.
I had intended for it to be like a rock type of like feel, and because I'm not a one-man band, that's not how it ended up. It actually ended up being total opposite of what I thought it would be. But as it came together, it's just, you know, I think it made sense as to why, you know, the direction went in the direction that it went. And obviously, Mulan wrote the lyrics to the song.
Jason is my friend, my best friend, who died 9 years ago in a car accident. And I remember like when he died, he said to me that like he was gonna come to my house, man, you know. And I kind of get emotional when I listen to it. He's gonna come to my house, and then like the day, so he died the night when he told me he was gonna come, and then I got the message, and I was like in denial like the whole day, and like I just like I didn't like I kept on calling him like, where are you, like Vaji, he said you were gonna come, you know, and like there was no response, and like I was literally in denial until I went to like, and I like to tell the story, and then until like I went to his house the day of his funeral, and like I saw his coffin in the middle of the living room, and his mom was in the corner, and I lost it, and my mom was like, yo, like no one could control you, and like it took like literally 8 years for me to write it, because it was such a sore subject for me. And I remember listening to like the mixes. I kind of also broke down, you know, and I still do cry because I felt like my friend should be here, you know, like he should be here. And yeah, it's very emotional.
Yeah, the more I grew up, the more I realized that Saturday is out though. It's scary. And I think we were a bit like hungover when we wrote that song. You know, the weekend passes like you drink 2 beers, then it's Monday. So
it is a story about a particular day, and I remember like I was hungover and like I had to go because Lips is a drill sergeant. So I went there, and the night before I went out partying, right? And I didn't like it. I didn't like how the older you get, the more you realize that you're in school. You're still in school. There's always these hierarchies. There's always like these groups of people. There's always these people that think they are way better than other people. You know, people don't generally go to like places and spaces for their own enjoyment. But it kind of felt to me like there was a type of competition that was being had, and all I wanted to do was get my ass drunk, you know? So I didn't like it, and I realized and that's why I say, people drink, they talk shit, think they're better than everyone else.
but I think that song I think it really speaks to how I feel about Saturday sometimes. But I mean it changes here and then, but yeah, generally is.
I think I'm always nervous when I sing, but like it doesn't stop me, which is actually really weird.
I think it's part of my personality. I'm not very social. I'm a shy person. So even before stage, so now imagine on stage.
I feel like I'm in front of a bunch of strangers, and because I like people, I talk to them, you know, and I think like it's kind of like me familiarizing myself with them, and like that kind of makes it way more easier.
So I think naturally it's good to have nerves, because nerves kind of put you on the edge and everything is heightened, so you're able to sort of, obviously not too much nerves, because then you can end up breaking down and having a stage fright. So nerves, especially before getting on stage, they kind of help.
So I studied music, and during my BMAs, we had what you call class pracs. So that's when you play a piece, you know, to be scrutinized and criticized by your fellow peers and your lecturers. So that was definitely nerve-wracking.
Nerves is just maybe the first 2 notes, first song. Then after that, I think I become fine.
But I think once everyone's playing the first song and you kind of look at each other and make eye contact, you know, crack some smiles, and like the music is going, then you start getting comfortable, getting into the zone.